Good afternoon, everybody. January 8th. Welcome back to Cooking with Chew. Chew, CHOO/CHEW. We are chewing, we're getting healthier. I didn't do it for this reason, but I have lost 3 to 4 pounds. My kids don't like to come and see me in person. I do believe what they say about being online, that it adds weight. So I'm really not a big person, but I will tell you that I am suffering like many women do after they reach midlife. I'm beyond that even. The midsection starts to get a little bit on the thick side, so we're getting better. Anyway, pani puri. These wonderful, delicious little cups that you break open, you put savory contents in them, and then you dip the whole cup into a green liquid, the puri sauce, which is made with. You can buy it in a bottle at the Indian store. Bhavani Cash and Carry is where I went, which is Sawmill and 161. But you make it of cilantro, one of my favorite herbs. With it, the most refreshing, I actually have 2 bags of this, mint. Inside of it, you put in tamarind, like they call it paste, I call it syrup, black pepper. I'm going to add a little bit of this bouillon, and I'm going to put in onion, and they call for, so I did it. I have little peppers, as you all know. I have red peppers, Thai peppers that I cook with. I'm going to use chana masala. An interesting thing happened, and I know it was God. I was in the store, and the girl behind the counter or the cash register was so busy, overwhelmed, and I asked her, because there are so many spices in the Indian store. When you walk in, it's just perfumed with spices, so much different than when you go into an Asian store, which I find is very, very pungent in areas of the store with seafood, frozen and otherwise. But the chana masala, they had it in this size and bigger size. But she was overwhelmed. She was busy. I asked her where this was. So she said, oh, in aisle 5. And I went down to aisle 5 and I looked at the 2 sides of the aisle, the shelves. And my God, the number of spices, garam masala, you name it. There's so many spices. But I like the store. When I got into the aisle, I panicked because I couldn't find anything. I was going to leave. And I asked a woman who had a cart shopping, and she was obviously of Indian persuasion, beautiful woman. And I asked her where this was. She showed it to me, showed the sizes, and I told her what I planned to make today. And she says, do you know where to find them? And I said, yes. I found them already. She says, well, that's okay, but they have them with the chana masala puree mix, the liquid, the green mix, inside a packet, a powder packet that you add water to. And I told her, no, I prefer to make it. So she says, that's a better deal. I said, because that I've had long ago was very salty, because it requires black salt. But I'm going to use my own salt, and I'm going to sweeten mine. I'm going to have a very savory cup. I'm going to be making to fill my cups with, actually not fill them, but you put them in there. Potatoes. I'm going to cook these are yellow potatoes, because so they're very starchy. Along with the potatoes, I'm going to put a little bit of Better Than Bouillon vegetable stock. I'm going to put some green peas. These are thawing. I'm not going to cook these yet. I'm going to put these in at the last minute because I prefer my peas to be solid and still dark green. So I may sit them in just a little bowl of salty water. That helps to retain that green color, which is pretty. Into that, I'm going to add some coconut milk. I think I told you about this. And that's probably pretty much it. Now, when I got there with the lady, she told me, now, you know you can make your pani puri. And I says, huh? She says, yeah, you can make your pani puri. And I says, well, I saw several demonstrations of making it. I said, but I don't have the time nor the inclination. She says, no, let me show you. So the pani puri, these precious little cups, which are fried in very light oil. This is semolina flour, the same thing that you make pasta with. There's no egg or anything like that. But here they are. And basically the idea, I had bought the mix from New Orleans when I was there to make beignets. You roll it into a flat little dough, and then you put it into oil, and it puffs up. That's what these are supposed to do. So I came home and I tried them. You can put them in your air fryer, and you're gonna get this same product here, the puffy little pani puri, without dropping them into hot oil. So you can cook these, they say, without adding oil, or you can cook them dry. Let's see. I'm going to do 3 of these with a little bit of very healthy grapeseed oil. I forgot I had this in the back of my refrigerator door. Grapeseed oil, and 3 without. So while I'm talking to you, I'm going to add a little, got my little pastry brush here. I'm going to add just a small amount of oil onto both sides of 3 of these pani puri. Not a whole lot. And like I told you, grapeseed oil, look, I can tell you, Google it, which is what I did today. There's 3 that are with oil on both sides. I'm going into my air fryer. So I situated my camera so that I can see you right there. Gonna pull out my tray. You see that? Pull out my tray. I'm gonna lay the 3 oiled ones here. I actually touched my hand there. And then 3 over here. The fire, the oven is pre-lit, so it's hot. And it's supposed to take 4 to 6 minutes. What I like about this dish is that it has, in the puri liquid, it has refreshing mint. It has a couple pieces, of ginger. And as I said, it's got this chana masala. And on top, after you get everything together, you've got your little cups, you've cracked the top open, you've put some of the potato and peas in. You take the whole little cup and dip it into this liquid. So I'm gonna make it for you in just a little while. I'll be back and I'll make the liquid for you. You add water to it in ice, and then on top of it, this is a cool liquid that you're dipping your cup into. You drop a few of these little crunchies. These are actually chickpeas. Chickpeas are very, very healthy, and they that is what hummus is made with. So I bought hummus today so that you could see the kind that I like. Excuse me, I was hoping I wouldn't have to step away, but as you all know, I'm still trying to learn with you. Brought a couple of other things that I want to share with you. So, fortunately for Sabra, and unfortunately for me, this is the best I've ever had of hummus. So, when I do my potatoes, when they get cooked, they will have a little bit of flavoring, not too much because this has salt in it. I'm going to stir in a little bit of the hummus. I'm going to put in some of the peas at the last. There's another brand too. This one is good. I just pick it up when I see it. But this is called Cedar's Organic Original Hummus. So this is what I'm going to have for you. And as you already know, I have put my squid into a dish. It is covered with cashew milk because we're not having dairy. There it is. There's a little pepper in there and fennel seed. And this is going to fry really quickly in a very, very hot pan. I can't think of a better pan than cast iron. So I'm going to cut these into strips, actually into rings. And here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to take the squid, hands are clean. Let me check on these. Aha! Just in time. I did not burn them. I'm going to pull these out for you. Here is one without oil, the pani puri. Let me turn you back this way so you can see where they're coming from. Here is another of the pani puri. Here is another of them. So I'll just lay them here so that they don't roll out of my hand. Here's one. I believe that's the smaller one, is the one with oil. Because I put them on the right-hand side, on my side, the right-hand side, with oil, and the ones on the other side without oil. So I'll give them a moment to cool so that you can see that they are crispy, that you can break a hole into them and put something into them. This is one of my favorite Indian dishes. I don't do this stuff on a regular basis because I like to eat with my husband. I like to eat the same thing. I like to cook one meal and be done with it. But when I'm doing something that he doesn't participate in, it makes it a little bit more labor intensive. He's not a demanding man. Praise God for that. Most of the time he calls me before he comes in. Hey, Chew, what do you want me to bring you? Usually it's a bibimbap or hot chicken takeover. I don't do a lot of cooking. I like to cook. And when I do cook, I try to make sure that it is something that is very favorable. But let's test the texture of these pani puri. So I'm sitting down. I'm about to eat. And I want to break a hole into this little ball. Like that. So you stuff that with your potato, your peas, your hummus mixture that's savory and creamy, and then you dip it into this green puri sauce and pop the whole thing in your mouth. Now, I'm not going to do that on camera right now. I want you to listen to this. That's made with semolina flour, refined wheat flour, chickpea flour, semolina flour. So, but there is no egg, no milk, nothing in this but water and whatever flour they choose to use. Then we're going to be adding to our potatoes and hummus mixture. We're going to be adding in some warmed up chickpeas, which are extremely good for you. Finally, in a little while, I'm going to spread out these $6.99 jumbo blueberries. I'm going to line a cookie sheet, a rimmed cookie sheet with parchment paper. These $6.99 blueberries, a little friend at my Kroger store told me they're on sale for $2. I got this. I got 2 packages. I'm going to spread them out, freeze them. And then maybe tomorrow sometime, I'm going to get some cashew milk, drop some of these in there. They'll be frozen. A little bit of my sweetener, my stevia sweetener, and I'll have myself a smoothie. Anyway, I'll see you back soon.